Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Hari Om. Pranam, pranam, pranam. One devotee sent an email. Why are we hesitant to move towards Him? How can we unabashedly ask for Sakshatkar when we feel so inadequate? How can I even think of merging my being with the eternal when I know I am unprepared? The time when we are listening to satsang, it all feels real, until the world where I revel crashes heavily. Then I become helpless. The struggle, these are all good signs, That means the tug of war will be there. when we have been touched and kindled and awakened by beloved Papa and various Mahatmas as to what exactly should be our goal, the urge to become one with it will be there. At the same time, our baggage will be pulling us in a different way. So it is natural, but to become aware of the struggle itself is a positive sign. Every time it will be there. Because why, right from beginning, this was not highlighted to us when we were passing through our impressionable age. We had gathered so many concepts, developed so many concepts about spirituality, about God, about Guru, about ashram. We were not able to understand the real purpose. So when at the appropriate time, when the spiritual preceptor draws us, even then when he says we may not be able to, but at a particular moment, by his grace, we try to understand, this is the purpose of the life. God has been providing everything to me. Right from my seed stage up to today. This fact I was not aware at all. And I have not been remembering him. So now at least, at the intellectual level we have understood that it is he who is the great provider providing to us. And so we should try to handle everything from that level, not from the me and mine level. So even in spiritual disciplines, because we have been used to start from the me and mine level, we find it extremely difficult to go along with it. So what are we to do? We have to start from the seed level. When we handle our men and matters, if we are relying upon the me and mine, naturally it will cause ups and downs. But if we start from the original standpoint, that means, we try to raise ourselves from the present level and start looking at events and individuals from that point, our reaction will be definitely different. The same thing has to be applied in spiritual practice also. There, when suppose a challenging situation rises, where we are subjected to go through stressful period, we try to start from a different level. God has ordained me to go through this, and God, for his own reasons, made somebody else to behave like this. At the same time, we have to react, but it will be from a different level. We may be reacting. There will be a drastic or fundamental difference in handling this. When I handle it from my level, my rights and wrongs, my likes and dislikes, they overweigh. But when I try to raise myself from a different level, a little higher level, it will not be based on purely on my rights and wrongs and likes and dislikes. Slowly I try to give allowance for the other party also, for the situation or the people or the objects. I give. I accommodate them. And from that platform we will be reacting. Even then there may be some trouble or problem. So we have to, then we will know that we have to still more higher, still more higher, still more higher. Same thing has to be applied in spiritual discipline. When I feel I cannot move forward, it is from the individual standpoint. But God, who is within me, who has facilitated me to know about this, really wants me to move towards Him. When I remember that, there will be a change, which is what is called the grace of the Lord. I have been chanting Ram Nam for the past 4 or 5 decades, because when I come here, the Guru says, Nama is the panacea for everything. You don't have to do anything else. We did not bother about anything else. We chanted during the limited hours here. And when we are back to our own fields, this priority will not be there. It is there in the subconscious state. But at the same time, this intensity will not be there. Oh, suddenly it has gone.
Oh, jumped, huh?
What happened?
I don't know, something just...
Oh.
It's going. It's going.
So, as a routine, as a set program, we were chanting Ram Nam. But later on, he slowly opens up and says, you have to add this 2 dimension also, that you are chanting the name of one who is within you, who is making you to chant. So we will start applying our mind. Suppose we are every day morning, before going to our field of profession, or our family life or social life, we spend about, say, 10 minutes, 15 minutes in our prayer room, and we chant. We have a quota in our mind. I will do that. And I try to bring in there. When I start repeating it again as a ritual, I am chanting the name of one who is within me, who is making me to chant. One day, Lord will definitely make us to concentrate on the word we are repeating. If I am repeating to myself that He is making me to chant, slowly I will start, oh, if He is making me to chant, He is making me to think. He is making me to see. All my 5 sense organs are activated because of His presence. My mind and intellect is activated because of His presence. Slowly we move nearer and nearer to Him. So, like as a spiritual aspirant or a devotee, we try to bring in the God dimension. In spiritual practices also, we try to bring in the dimension, meaning that it is He who is prompting us to do this. Even if it is for a short time. Even the period ever so small, in Papa's own words. We try to bring not a superficial exercise, not a lip level exercise, not a ritualistic form of chanting, but this dimension we add. So similarly, whatever He makes us to hear, His own words or through any other masters during the satsang sessions, we, instead of feeling that we are attending the satsang session, we are hearing it, immediately we start applying it. He is facilitating us to hear this. Because of His abundant love for us, He wants to draw us to Himself. That is why He is facilitating us to think about it through satsang, through Ramnam, through bhajan, through swadhyay, then we will not feel the heaviness. When I take the burden on my head, naturally the heaviness will be there. Kindly think about it. So just like as a devotee, we all say, by Papa's grace I got this, by Papa's grace, prompted. Whether we are 100% conscious of the truth or just like a habit it comes, only that person will know. Suppose we add sincerity to that words. By Papa's grace, we are in a position. Same thing applies to our spiritual disciplines and practices. So why do we hesitate to move towards Him? Is it so? Do we have any individual will as a spiritual child of Papa? Umpty number of times he keeps on hammering that there is only God's will, God's will, God's will. So why not we change that question into something like this? He has made us, He is facilitating us, He is drawing us to Himself. At the moment our mind is not prepared, agreed. It is not prioritized, agreed. So He is now drawing us. So every day when the satsang session takes place, in a mysterious way, He brings out these. Even these words have been prompted by Him. Why? Apparently it has come from one bosom, but it must be there in many or in most of us. So He wanted this to be exposed, and then all of us will do the manana and pray to Him to give us the right guidance. And then the next question will not be there, that we don't feel inadequate. This inadequacy or insufficiency is not there when once we take refuge in Him. Individually you are right. Third question is, how can I even think of merging when I know I am unprepared? Why should we feel we are unprepared? The very fact that we are going through this process makes us aware that He is preparing us. For every higher studies, we are told, there is a NEET exam, NEET. Coaching will be there, preparatory work. Then only we can sit for the exam. Then only, depending upon the marks we obtain in that, we will get admission in colleges. So coaching, So now, should we not think that every day when He makes us to chant Ram Nam, when He makes us to attend bhajans, when He makes us to repeat the prayer, when He makes us to attend the satsang session, when He makes us to go through some of His words of wisdom, is He not preparing us? If we have been observing with that perspective, we will find there is a chronological order even in bringing up topic by topic every day. Everything is prompted by Him. As a spiritual aspirant, we are not, others may be owning it, okay. Nothing wrong in it. God is allowing them to own it, okay. But when He has drawn us, He has awakened us, and when we have become one in His fold, and we know that He is preparing us, every act, whether we label it as worldly or spiritual, every act is initiated by Him for our evolutionary process. So we don't have to feel insufficient or inadequate. When we have entrusted to our parents, during our childhood days, we don't bring out these words. So we keep on hammering this truth that He is guiding us, everything. For example, now Papa has touched upon many subjects through many of his books, through many of his satsang. God prompted somebody to take note of it, bring it out in the form of books, and He makes us to go through it, and then small topic wise, small pamphlets are being brought out now. What for? He uses somebody to bring it out, no doubt. It is for his sadhana, number one. Number two is, everybody may not be able to go through the whole text. God has given them so many preoccupations. So He found a way, suppose about Nama leads. How does the Nama lead? What is the glory of the name? Inward journey, great void, fruition of life. There are so many such small pamphlets have been brought out. So that it is a ready-made one. The act of preparing itself is initiated by Him. Suppose we individually feel that I have brought it out, then the very purpose of it is lost, Because in every line He will keep on hammering this. Your will, no. His will, yes. And we will be wondering whether how can we bring it out. His words of wisdom are there in so many books. God Experience 1 and 2, Letters to Devotees 1 and 2, Gospel 3 volumes, Lectures of Swami Ramdas 5 volumes, Ramdas Speaks, In Quest of God, At the Feet of God, In the Vision of God, World is God, Divine Life. So many. Call of the Devotee. So when He makes, everybody will not be able to go through the whole book, So at an appropriate time, He prompts somebody. Thus Speaks, and if you go through the preface of Thus Speaks and glimpses, amazing, when Papa Sashti Murti, that means 1944, they brought it out, this. Culled out from different letters and categorized. How easy for us now to go through that. So He is prompting, He is drawing us. So we don't have to feel that whether we are fit for that. We are fit. We are entitled. We don't have to feel there is insufficiency or inadequacy. 100%. So this struggle only brings out all these truths. So struggle is also valid, and the outcome of the struggle is also equally valid. So none of us need to get dispirited. With all enthusiasm, We keep on hammering. We are safe in His hands. He is leading us, guiding us to the goal. 100%. And even if this is not possible, in our language, me and mine language, we should try to shift our priorities. And by regular prayer, we have to pester him, In spite of this, what happened? I wanted to hold on to it, but you made something, I lost my hold. I slipped into the negative tendencies. Like that, then later on we will find all these things are valid. They are necessary for our spiritual progress. In glimpses, you will find inspiring quotations. Whenever we feel one or two we will read. Success and failure be the same to you is a truism to be realized in order to attain a peaceful mind. Success in life depends upon a daring and determined course taken up through unshakable faith and confidence. Vacillation is the greatest handicap to success. By taking complete refuge in the Almighty, you should decide upon a definite line of action, and then, by an unflinching perseverance, carry it out through good or evil. When taking such a step, do not rely for help and guidance from anybody in the world except upon yourself. God, the great self, is in you. He is your help and guide in all matters. In accordance with His command, pursue any path which He prompts you to. He will, all power, strength and wisdom are within you. Because the great self, who is all these, is your true being. All power, strength and wisdom are within you, because the great self, capital S, who is all these, is your true being. He will see that your life is a magnificent success. Harbor no doubts or misgivings. Faith and grit win the race. Strengthen your will by surrender to the divine will. Turn your mind within for divine peace. Rouse yourself in every way and bravely fight this battle of life, which is a battle for all alike, and come out triumphant as a soldier of love and peace and goodwill. See, these are all culled out from his letters. You and I may find it difficult where it is, Somebody was prompted to take it up and brought in the small book called Glimpses of Divine Vision. So whenever the morale is down, suppose we read this, he is charging us. Life is a perpetual adjustment and readjustment. It is an ever-changing movement on the surface, but in its depths, it is perfect calmness, peace and stillness. The object of your life is to happy yourself and give happiness to others. In fact, real delight consists in so adjusting your life as to make it yield joy to others. If you have faith in God, use this faith in cultivating patience and equanimity. Faith always goes with cheerfulness, resignation and peace. Be childlike, not childish. Be blissful and a free child of God. Reveal your innate divine nature. Diffuse around you always love and joy. Every power with which you are gifted has to be cheerfully utilized for the service of God in the world. So whatever activities, that is called job, service of God in the world. Every power. It is also the experience of every great soul that the path is one of acute suffering. Hence, self-sacrifice has been the badge of saints all over the world. The lamp can give light only at the cost of its oil. Give and give is the law of the deathless spirit working in nature. Whatever circumstances you may find yourself, do not forget the great and merciful Lord of the universe. Life bereft of the thought of God is verily not worth living. God is our mother, guide, protector. To be in constant awareness of Him means purity, strength, courage, and peace, because God is all power, knowledge, and bliss. So, like that, whenever we find, that there is a sign of what you call dilution or aberration, we immediately take up any book, just open the page, some word will be there for you. So this is how apparently discharged mind can be charged. He is always there. At no time we get discharged. But we feel, that is why depression comes. That is why stressful period comes. Natural. And at that time these thoughts may come. Am I fit? How can I do that? Have I prepared myself? All these are natural. So at that time, we do that. We shift our priority. We pray to Him to enable us to shift our priority to Him. That is one of the methods that He prompts us now to share with all. Another email. In satsang, we were told to hold on to our values and ideals like great saints and Mahatmas. But in our family life with usual attachments and affection, is it possible to lead a complete harmonious life continuously without any compromise and dilution of our ideals? Can we, with a rigid and non-compromising nature, lead a smooth and unfrictional life? Gandhiji and Vinobaji were almost detached with family. They were not affected in their lives by disagreements and protests and wounding the minds of others, unlike we people. So, what are the ways to have a highly harmonious family life, and then only our spiritual quest can be peaceful? Very practical problem. Because when we are dealing in the family life or even in professional life, what we are trying to develop, apparently God will not prompt the other people to show that. So this struggle will always come. But as spiritual children of Papa, we know that is also caused by Him. So every now and then we keep on reminding not to react immediately. And when they are not in a position to understand our stand, we wait for the time when they are in a sattvic mood and lovingly tell them. In spite of that, still we may find others are not receptive. Again, we intensify our sadhana and pray to Him to guide us. And gradually we will develop a state, need not necessarily, this is one of the methods, that we will become positively indifferent. What is meant by positively indifferent? We will have the neutral state, but at the same time not with a negative idea. To them, this is the priority. To us, this is the priority. Both have been given by God. And we are unable to go along with the priority of another. So we keep neutral. We have seen many families. Many people adopt this. If they are in a joint family, definitely. There will be generation gap, communication gap. So we don't have to feel that they are not listening. God has given them some priorities now. Based upon that, they are reacting to events and individuals. In our case, we have also passed through that age. Were we having all these ideas when we were passing through that age? Certainly not. So then we try to go down, to go back to our own life and see what all we have gone through and how much time it took for us to listen to His calling. When all these things start overweighing in our mind, we will be able to develop this positive indifference, udasinata. In Bhagavad Gita, in 12th chapter, the Lord says, Anapeksha, Shuchirdaksha, Udasino Gatavyata. Initially we thought Udasino indifferent. No, positive indifferent. Because everything is ordained by Him, every situation is ordained by Him, but at the same time He doesn't make us to go along with it for reasons known to Him. So there He prompts us to become indifferent, neutral. We are not affected at all. These are all words only. When we actually try to practice, there will be, it will not be as smooth as we talk now. But this will help us. During these periods, if we try to do the manana, when we are confronted with such a situation, slowly it will percolate. And our positive indifference will definitely touch and kindle the nobler sentiments in others. We will continue to love and serve as much as possible to everybody, but at the same time holding on to what He has prompted us from within, without compromising. Not very rigid. We will not look rigid, we will be rigid. We will not compromise, but we will not appear to be rigid. In Bhagavad Gita, when He says, Satyam vada, Priyam vada, not only the truth should be uttered, but it should be lovingly uttered. Think about it. We would say that every day, Papa wanted every one of us to go through Srimad Bhagavad Gita, at least one slokas, two slokas. The idea was this. Whenever He makes us to go through certain problems, unexpected problems, we need a prop, a support to hold on, no? Because we are not full-timers in Ramnam. When we are full-timers in Ramnam, nothing else is needed. That is not possible, agreed. Family, profession, society, everything is there. So along with Ramnam, that is why Papa advises us that you also, because that will give us a cushioning, to absorb the shocks. Any shloka will come to you. So see, from 2nd chapter to 18 chapters, suppose we just open. We don't have to go by the thumb rule, no? We pray to him and open the book. Because we are not going to report to anybody. We are only reporting to him. So she should prompt us which chapter, which sloga we should go. That is enough. And he will make us to open. And then he will direct us to that particular sloga. And he will make you to align yourself with the theme contained therein. And it stays with you. And in times of need, it comes as a proper support. For a spiritual aspirant, we don't have to follow any rules. In one of the articles, he used to mention this. Remember? What was that? Life's values, Papa's words, are not to be set by mere external rules and regulations, conditions and circumstances, but by an all-comprehensive knowledge of the great power which lies at its inception. What one should do or should not do is not what a true spiritual life dictates. It is from what vision and from what knowledge the life is regulated that matters. So the first and foremost thing for everyone to do is to find out the immortal root of this being and look upon the external life from the consciousness of this root. Then life will adjust itself harmoniously with the lives of all beings and creatures in this world. Know this source and be free. A direct answer, no? The first and foremost thing for everyone to do is to find out the immortal root of this being and look upon the external life from the consciousness of this root. Then life will adjust itself most harmoniously with the lives of all beings and creatures in the world. Know this source and be free. Like this, for everything, Papa is an encyclopedia, no? Papa's teachings offer every answer for every question that he makes us to feel in our heart. But when we try to go with that perspective, he will guide us. Again and again and again, he keeps on harping. Don't seek answers from the external. Try to seek answers from internal. Because he is prompting, He has given us a sense of individuality. He has made us unaware of him. So naturally there will be doubt, there will be stress, there will be so many things. Because he has not made us aware of his presence. So now every now and then when we are confronted with such a problem in our family level, professional level, social level, as a spiritual aspirant, ours is to turn to him. So it is good that such questions are placed by him through some devotees, so that for the benefit of everybody. And we all collectively try to dig deep and find out a method for us, silently. So one clue today he gives us is that udasinata. In fact, the 12th chapter, last 5-7 slokas, that is enough for us. The first word is anapeksha, in the sloka. Not depending upon anybody. Not because of arrogance, We don't want to give any least problem to others. So even from the minutest, we try not to depend upon others. Unless you are sick or immobilized, we have no choice. So long as he has made us to move about and handle things by ourselves, he says, beware of this. Even for a small thing we can ask, people may be doing it, but let us not. Anapeksha. Free from anything. Dependence. Shuchi. Absolutely pure. Daksha. Excellence. Bringing out excellence in everything. Udasino. So these are all some of the clues that we get in our workaday life, It is not for people who are in Himalayas or in ashrams. It is for the people who are leading a family life, professional life, social life. But it starts from Adveshta Sarvabhutanam. We are not here to learn, We don't want academic proficiency in repeating or reproducing. Every word we try to see, understand through our own experience God has given us. Or He makes us to observe in somebody's life. All these 30 or 35 values are there. And these 30 and odd values, we are not just mugging up like an academic exercise. Every word, we try to understand it through our own experience, or God would have made us to observe somebody's life, so that it becomes practical. It's not utopian, not imaginary. It becomes practical. This morning we were sharing, when you say, Adveshta Sarvabhutanam. One housewife was going for the morning walk. Two youngsters came in a bike, snatched her, mala. And then they ran away. Naturally, she went and lodged a complaint in the nearest police station, gave the address and all those things, details of the items stolen. In the evening, the telephone call comes from the police station. We have caught hold of the two people with the mala. Now you come here and decide. So the husband has come from his field. So wife and husband went there. Yes, they identified the two people were in the lockup. This man immediately goes and says, when the sub-inspector asked, how should we proceed? He said, if they promise they will not commit it again, from tomorrow onward they can come to my factory, I will give them job. It's all right, it has happened. No postmortem. Adveshta. Malice towards none. In English, that is how we translate. And not only to human beings. We used to share, when we were working with that Jain, at 5 o'clock or 5 and a half when we are driving the vehicle, naturally at the headlight, so many flies will be coming. Many of them get stuck in the radiator. Immediately he will jump out, save as many as possible. Sarva Bhutana. So like that, we are trying to understand Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam. Sarva Bhutanam, not only human beings. So we may not be able to live up to it, but when we see this, when we understand through an example drawn from the contemporary life, not Puranas or Idihasas, contemporary life, then we try to understand the meaning. And when we understand the meaning right from the contemporary life, slowly it will percolate. The other day we saw a cat was just passing. Suddenly it passed. It has come under the car. Immediately the person stopped. So many cars were there. They were all asked to take the diversion. And then we saw him lifting and putting it in the car. It is not. He is taken to the veterinary hospital. We saw it. At that time, Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam. This is how we try to understand the slogas in Bhagavad Gita. Then it will have its own impact on us. Because ours is not to learn it by heart or reproduce. Ours is to learn this, do manana, make it a part of our life. When we early morning, with our brush, when we go to the wash basin, before we open the tap, we just find out whether there are any ants or anything there. As much as possible, we try to save them, and then only we switch on tap. These are all something possible, While we walk, there may be some insects. It may be crawling. You have seen, somebody may not have seen. He may be preoccupied. You can just save it and keep it aside. When we see this done by others, it has a terrible impact rather than reading the sloga. Sloga is needed, but we are trying to understand it through examples drawn from contemporary. So in that way, we may be able to find answers for the problems or the questions he makes us to go through. So along with Papa's teachings, we will also try to draw as much as possible from Srimad Bhagavad Gita also. That's why Papa used to say, what was that word? No, you remember? Journal stories. In the introduction, start behaving well. Bhagavad Gita in brief. No. Bhagavad Gita is a veritable mosaic of eternal wisdom. It has not left unsolved a single problem pertaining to the conduct of human life, both in its spiritual and physical spheres. For highest truths of philosophy and also for a perfect light on the practical side of life, one has to go to this great work, Words of Papa. The message of the entire Gita is to reveal the harmony and identity of the soul with God and of God with nature. Purpose of Gita is to proclaim that human life is essentially divine, spiritually, mentally, physically. Its one aim is to prove that spirit and matter are one and the same. Activity in the world, whatever form it might take, as circumstances and conditions demand, is not a thing to be shunned or renounced. What is needed is to divinize life through the attainment of freedom from the individual sense, by the mergence of it into God, who is at once the soul, the universe, and the all-transcendent, all-inclusive truth. This is how he introduces Gita to us. With this background, when he says, spiritual and physical, it has not left unsolved a single problem. We have faith in the words of Papa. So whenever we are confronted with any problem, we try to go through that. And there also, we are not guided by any rules. We intensely pray to him and then open that book. Mysteriously we will find we are led to the answer, we are led to that particular point, a topic where we get answers. We will all try, no? We keep on trying. This is how he is guiding us. Okay, anything else? These are the two letters that gave us a lot of food for thought. Anybody would like to add anything? Nothing else is there. If nothing else is there, we will read a few quotations of Papa. Rama. Glimpses again. When you remember God in a particular form, you worship Him as Saguna. And when the image dissolves in your mind, raising you beyond the sense of duality, then you realize Him as Nirguna. Both are aspects of one truth. For a human being, there is no privilege greater than that of becoming the child of the divine parent. This spiritual relationship is based upon the knowledge that the child and the parent are one. Verily, there is none or nothing but the one Supreme Lord, who is all and all in all. Change is the order of the universe. The how and wherefore of events, great and small, are questions which do not admit any answer. The Lord's will is supreme in all things. In the early stages of sadhana, when the individual and egoistic will persist and makes progress difficult, to subdue it, surrender to the almighty will of God is indeed an easy path. A really independent will works in you only when you are actuated by God's own will. The saint has made his will God's will, and vice versa. God's will means God's power. All movements, all change in it belongs to that power in the universe. To realize this truth is to surrender to the power and will of God. The individual I is utterly unreal. He and His power are the truth. His power is infinite love and infinite joy. Be conscious always that the God that you pray to is within you and everywhere about you. His protection and grace are there forever for you. Be always aware that He is guiding you from within. The world is a grand display of the Lord's Leela. In fact, each one of you, playing an individual part in it, is himself in his self-expression. In the light of this knowledge and vision, you are all eternally one. The appearance of diversity belongs only to the surface. Fears and anxieties cannot affect you in all your undertakings, provided you are sure and firm in your faith. God is the great provider, and he who trusts Him is never lost. Only you have to tune your will with His will, mingle your consciousness with His divine light and wisdom, merge your life in His eternal existence, then you are perfectly safe in all situations of life. Easiest way to reach or realize Him is surely to repeat His most powerful name. Smaran is to remember what you have forgotten. You have forgotten that you are His Swarup. You are always He, but your ignorance has made you forget your real nature. Continuous and ceaseless Smaran of Ram is to remove your ignorance and make you realize ultimately that you are all He and He alone. There is none but He. To attain this, your mind must be spotlessly pure. Repetition of His great name is again the only means for our sadhana. A pure mind is the first preliminary to your surrender to Ram. Conceive a strong, intense love for Ram. The more intense your love for Him, the more continuous and unbroken your remembrance becomes automatically, because it is your nature to remember that which you love most. I think that is enough. So these two questions and a few quotations from his different books, and also something about Srimad Bhagavad Gita. These are all the take-home message for today. We pray to Him. You have facilitated so many things for us, enable us to draw the fullest benefit from it. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Pranam.
Oh, at least we could